I'm going to throw some asparagus, and I hope I win the lottery. Demons drinking sake and stealing your bad kids. The local Egyptian queen says COVID will end by spring. You're listening to Our Different Take, episode 25. Welcome everyone to Our Different Take. My name is Brian, proud father of two awesome boys, Jedi podcaster. This is the way. And to my left is Matt. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Brian. I just want to say that I started watching The Mandalorian again, and now I understand what "this is the way" means. I didn't get it before. I was like, why does he keep saying that? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it's not, actually.
You're fired.
I saw it. I was laying in bed in a oxycodone-induced coma after my arm surgery and watched a bunch of episodes, and now it all makes sense. So anyway, I'm happy to be here. Really excited to talk about some strange and interesting news tidbits this week. And to my left is the gentleman from the Republic of Texas, Scott. Welcome, Scott.
Hello, and thank you, Matt. I'm looking forward to being from the actual Republic of Texas. I guess we're going to get a vote on that this next coming November. So I'm excited about that, especially with all the craziness going on in the world. I'd just as soon be separated from it. Y'all are going to need a passport to come visit me.
Save me a room in your house because we're moving in.
Yeah.
I'm interested in conspiracy theories, but hell, I don't think that there's anything but conspiracy theories anymore. I think the world is a conspiracy theory. I'm interested in the paranormal, spiritual, and on Weird Wednesdays, I'm interested in weird news, which is what we have tonight. A couple of exciting psychic predictions, which we'll see what you think about those.
Absolutely. I've got two things real quick. So just a quick reminder for everyone. We've got a couple segments at the end of each show. We have a segment where we promote a fellow podcast, so you can listen to them and support them as well. And then we also have some outtakes at the end of the show as well. So don't forget to keep, when you think the podcast is over, it really isn't. Keep listening. And then I got something I want to discuss real quick and get off my chest.
Uh-oh.
So, right. Do you guys cook some and look up recipes and stuff like that? Do you do any of that?
No, because I'm not a girl. Go on.
Well, you're fired for two reasons.
I embrace my feminine side. Go for it, man.
So I cook a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I like to, I can't just throw crap together and make it come out right. I'm a guy and I have to follow a recipe.
Fair enough.
So I Google a recipe for, I don't know, chicken or something. Well, each person that does these recipes has to give the complete life story of how a chicken's made from the beginning of time to the end of the chicken's life, to how the world is made, to the grass, to everything. And it takes 45 minutes to scroll through and find the freaking recipe.
Right.
So for the love of God, please, if you write recipes, just give us the recipe at the beginning, because I don't want to scroll through the life story of a chicken to get to
and
freaking recipe. Okay.
That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest to all of our listeners. I'm sure
I feel better. I do feel better now, because it was making me angry every time I look up something, and I was angry tonight. And so
what'd you make?
I beat the chicken.
You beat your chicken, did you?
Wow.
Wow. That's not that. This is. Yeah. You better not edit that out.
We've opened a new chapter, Brian.
You just told the world you beat your chicken tonight.
Yeah. How was it?
Chicken and cream sauce, I assume.
Wait, what'd you say?
Chicken and cream sauce?
Oh my God.
Where's this podcast going?
I don't even know. We started early.
Jeez Louise.
Full disclosure, Scott is drinking tonight. So
I'm well into my second glass. So yeah.
You are. Yeah. That's a good start. Anyway, all right. Well, let's move on. But I do feel better. So thanks for listening to that. But do you guys run into that too?
No,
Matt, you don't. So,
no.
and you don't.
I do a thing called dream dinners. My wife goes to this place over by your house, Brian, and she puts together like 25 at a time, and they're all the ingredients get put into like 3 or 4 different Ziploc bags with some instructions to tell you how to do it. Everything's right there, pre-measured, ready to go. She throws them in the deep freeze, and then I just pick out 2 or 3 a week, and we thaw them in the fridge. And then if she's gone, when I get home from work, I just make it takes like 25 minutes, and they come out perfectly every time. Dream dinners. Feel free to sponsor the podcast,
Mhm.
but they're really good. And then I that way I can't screw it up because otherwise I totally would. So yeah,
I dream of dinners sometime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do
That's
you,
great.
Scott? Do you do recipes?
Oh yeah. I've given up on my cookbook a long time ago. I just Google everything anytime I want to make something.
Yeah.
Problem is when you find a good recipe, I don't bookmark it a lot of times, and so I just well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just I'll remember what I searched for, and then I don't, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
next time you're trying to find what was that recipe, and what did I call it, and then you can't ever find it again, and so you end up making something else that doesn't taste the same, and then you're like, damn it, what do I? Why can't I just bookmark it like every normal person, and then whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
Well, coming soon, our different take recipe book. So look for that. That's coming soon.
Oh, that would be rich. That's good.
Jeez, that'd be the worst thing ever.
uh,
All right, Weird News Wednesday. So let's hit some of these topics. So we just celebrated the new year. Some people had parties, some people didn't, a wide range of things. This was an odd year that really nothing was normal for New Year's Eve, unless you just stay inside. So we did find something that happened in Japan, and it usually happens every year. And if it's something you want to do next year, then you can make plans for it. But we'll talk about it here real quick. Again, we talked about Japan. So you have to go to Japan. Oga City, OGA. Oga City is where you have to go.
Hmm.
And once there, you're going to prepare yourself for the Namage, Namahage. Namahage. I apologize
Okay.
for butchering that.
okay. Yeah.
It's a traditional New Year's Eve party there. So the Namahage refers to a deity who looks like a demon. That demon's called Oni in Japanese. So these people dress up as the demon, the Namahage. The females have large red masks, and the males wear blue masks. They wear straw raincoats called Kede, Kede. They have waistbands, wooden knives, and pails. So they carry this pail around with a big wooden knife and this scary mask. It doesn't say how many people there are that do this, but there's quite a few. So before they do what they do, they go to a shrine to receive the spirit of Namahage. Once they receive that spirit, they set off into the neighborhood. And the goal of this is to give blessings and protection to all the villagers. So you got these group of people wearing these masks and pails and wooden knives. I was going to say wooden spoons, but I don't think there's any wooden spoons in there.
That's
So
that's the people who are cooking on New Year's. They go out with
right,
wooden
True.
wooden
Looking
spoons.
for a recipe all night.
they
That's
go.
what
They
they're
go.
doing.
To, they allow this deity to possess them. Is that the thought?
Well, I don't know if they're possessed, but they receive the spirit. Maybe it's like the spirit of Santa Claus, how we're not possessed by him, but
How
we're
do you
all
know?
jolly. Well, I'm not. Maybe
Yeah,
you are.
my bad.
But they,
I'm just curious about that, and which raises the question: can a deity or a demon possess more than one person at a time? I never thought that was possible, but maybe it is.
Hmm.
uh, you know, that's probably a whole nother podcast here. That's a good
That
question.
Mm.
I'm just curious, and I'm super curious about all these Japanese rituals and stuff because some of their demon creatures are terrifying to look at,
Yeah, these
like
kind of are
really
too.
scary stuff.
But they receive the spirit of this thing, and then they dance and howl along the way to the person's house. They all arrive at the first house, so they knock on the door. They have to ask for permission to enter. As soon as they enter, they begin to run around the house, growling. And here's some of the things they say. Are there any crybabies here? Does the woman of the house get up early? Any lazy bones here? As they're running around the house growling, they threaten to carry off the bad kids in the house unless the parents give them an offering of rice cakes and sake.
Huh.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, so it's okay if, your kids are bad, but I'm going to leave them in your house, but I need rice and I need sake. Then it's okay.
Rice cakes are nasty. Why would they even
No, they're
want
good.
that?
Because some of the rice cakes they have are they have like a sweet like almost a glaze on top of them, and they're actually really delicious. But the good rice cakes are actually pretty decent.
Oh, so these are the good ones that they're offering.
I would assume because it's
I
kind of
would
like
think so.
it's like Christmas and Halloween, like
They're legit rice cakes here.
Well, but what if they're like the fat Japanese people?
There aren't
I
fat
don't,
Japanese people.
Yeah.
there are some fat Japanese
I mean,
people.
that's what sumo
Yeah,
wrestlers are.
sumo wrestlers, that's about it. So these guys, before they enter the house, they have to stomp their feet 7 times before they go into the house. They have to stomp their feet 5 times before they are served the food and sake, and then 3 times before they leave.
Huh.
So if I'll put the link for this article on our website, and you'll see that it looks like there's a lot of straw on these people that are doing this. As they go to each house, the straw falls, and the people that living in the house are supposed to pick that up and hold on to it and keep it because that will bring you good health and prevent sickness.
Whatever you got to hold on to,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So
last straw.
nice. Nice.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. So that's something to do next New Year's Eve in Japan.
Is it
Oga
just
City.
this one city in Japan, or is it like all over the country?
As far as I know, they just referred to this one city in Japan. It's
Huh.
not to say it doesn't happen somewhere else, but I didn't see that. So
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
Well, how truly lucky are they?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. All we did was just sit here and drink alcohol and watch Netflix. I mean, so
Yeah.
that sounds way more interesting than our New Year's.
It does. It does.
Huh. Which is really kind of like my everyday night. So it's really
Right.
it's not even special to New Year's. It's just kind of like come home, drink alcohol, and watch Netflix.
It's some exciting stuff, Scott.
After I search for recipes on the internet.
Yeah, which takes 9 hours to find one.
Because they tell the life story of the chicken.
Yeah, ridiculous. Let me start it on that again. All right, Scott, you got a couple stories.
Yeah. I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to start the new year with some predictions from some self-proclaimed psychics who have said they have received visions as far as what 2021 is going to look like. So obviously, 2020 was just a dumpster fire of a year. Um, Hopefully, 2021 will be better. I hope. Let's all just cross our fingers. So far, it's not starting out so well. So we'll see what happens later on. But here's one psychic who sees the future by throwing asparagus to the air and reading the patterns that they make when they land. And she's made some pretty big claims for 2021. This article was found on the Mirror, which is a UK newspaper, and she says that after she threw some asparagus across the room, that among the things that she saw was a new normal after the coronavirus pandemic and a royal breakup. So I know we don't. I don't know if you guys follow the stuff, the royal family or not. I know that's kind of a big thing to a lot of people. I don't really care, but a lot of people seem to really think that's interesting. But she says that she throws the vegetables into the air, reads the patterns they form, and says that the patterns resulted in her seeing that the pandemic would begin to pass by June and the world's population will become kinder as a result.
Hmm.
We're all going to be nicer as a result of the pandemic.
That's a tall
passing.
claim.
Yeah, that's what she says. So she predicts that foreign travel will become an occasional option rather than the annual norm. Extremes of weather will continue, with tropical storms becoming more frequent. And get this, Gus will become a popular baby name in 2021.
Gus.
Random.
Isn't that the name of the mouse on the Cinderella?
I don't know. I do remember there was an old Disney show. I think it was. They had a football playing donkey.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
He was a field goal kicker, I think.
Yeah, he kicked a lot. He kicked backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. His name was Gus.
Wasn't Gus the guy's name, the chicken guy in Breaking Bad? His name was Gus too. The guy that is in the Mandalorian as well.
Oh yeah, it's like Gustav or something though, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Now that there is a TV show, Breaking Bad.
Serious. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a great show.
Yeah. We can all agree on that one. That if you haven't seen that, go watch Breaking Bad. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So she also says that the royal family is going to see at least 2 divorces, and Harry will return to the UK on his own in March. I don't even know who Harry is, so I'm not even going to talk about the royal family. A bunch of people probably think that they know who all these people are, and that I'm stupid, and I might be, but I don't know who they are, so I don't really care.
They don't think you're stupid because of that, dude.
No, it's probably other things, huh? Yeah. There's plenty of that.
You kind of opened yourself up, man. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Hey, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it like a bunch of asparagus that you throw, or is it 3 or 4? I mean, because I think the more you throw, the more you could predict, right? Because it'll make different patterns versus throwing one spear across the room.
The picture shows her throwing, looks like 7 or 8 spears. So I'm curious how she got that Gus will become a popular baby name in 2021 from 7 or 8 spears of asparagus.
That is weird.
Did it maybe when it landed, did it kind of spell a G and then a U and then an S? How does that happen?
I wonder if it's like chicken bones or anything else. You could probably use anything. She probably just uses asparagus. But I mean, if you're psychic, you could probably roll dice or use tarot cards or chicken bones or maybe human teeth or whatever.
Well, it's probably the same principle as mathematics almost, because right, like us growing up, we don't go right into advanced calculus. We start at addition and subtraction, and we learn that, which would be like a carrot, and then calculus would be related to asparagus.
Gotcha. So she moves from carrots to broccoli, and then finally gets up to asparagus. Is spinach in there somewhere?
Probably. Cauliflower is probably in there. Some eggplant.
Throwing eggplants around the room, that could be kind of dangerous. Those things are big.
Yeah. Or spaghetti squash.
Yeah. Spaghetti squash.
Yeah, some jackfruit, man. Then you're really talking some predictions there.
Dude.
Oh.
Yeah. What is jackfruit? I don't even know what jackfruit is. Let's just pretend I didn't ask that. Let's just move
on. No. Jackfruit. It's like this. It's just Jamaican fruit. And each one probably weighs 20, 30 pounds. It's like the biggest fruit on earth.
Holy moly.
Jackfruit is monstrous.
Is it good?
I've never had it. They say that it tastes just like, you can cook it up to taste just like a lot of vegans will use it in place of meat. Like you can make a barbecue substitute out of jackfruit that supposedly tastes just like barbecued beef.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
So
cool.
I don't know where that came from. A little diversion there, but I don't think anybody is telling the future with jackfruit. But maybe soon.
Never say never.
She also said that she says she is world famous herself as the planet's only Asparamancer. And
That is
I don't
epic.
even
That
want to
name
know.
is freaking epic right there. The Asparamancer.
However, she did predict that Donald Trump would win the latest U.S. election, and that apparently did not happen. So we kind of have to wonder if maybe Gus is not going to be the popular baby name that she claimed it would be.
Maybe he did win. Maybe it was stolen.
Then maybe somebody might steal Gus from being the popular baby name. Maybe.
What? Anyway, Asparamancer is going into the title for sure somewhere. I love
Yeah.
that name.
So she says, I'm able to interpret the patterns left by the asparagus. Her name is Jemima, and I don't know if she's somebody's aunt, but that is her name. And when she casts the asparagus, it creates patterns, and it is the patterns that she interprets, and that's how she comes up with her predictions.
So it's Aunt Jemima the Asparamancer. Psychic. I don't even know. It just gets weirder and weirder, man. That is awesome.
That's a title right there.
Yeah.
So the next guy, who's a psychic who has some predictions for 2021, he calls himself Psychic Nicholas, and he supposedly predicted the coronavirus pandemic prior to it happening. So that's his claim to fame. That's why the Mirror has interviewed him. He was an Egyptian queen in a past life. He was a lion, and he was a teacher in the French Revolution, a deer, a lion, and he also lived in another galaxy. Somehow he made it here, and he now predicts things for us. So he believes that the coronavirus pandemic will be primarily over by the spring, but the panic and restrictions around the virus will go on until 2022. So even though the virus is basically under control within the next couple of months, that all of the panic and restrictions are going to go on for another year or so. He says that he had psychic talents. He was aware of his psychic talents as a child, but he had a truly overwhelming experience when he was 17. It was this almost out of body experience, and he was able to see several of his past lives. He says there's no logic to it, but I knew what I was seeing was me, and I knew it was a previous life. And that's where he goes on to say that he was an Egyptian queen, a maid, a teacher in the French Revolution, a deer, a lion, and even lived in another galaxy. And if you look at him, you can see all of those things in him. I totally believe this guy, by looking at his picture. Now, he predicted that Donald Trump would be defeated in this last election. So we got a little street cred here. Again, assuming that actually did happen and it wasn't stolen. And he was so overwhelmed with that out of body experience that he had. He was going to be a history teacher, and he was in the university majoring in history and economics, and decided to just drop all of that and train as a past life regression therapist, which apparently there must be quite a demand for in the UK. So if you live in the UK,
bachelor's in that?
Huh?
Got his bachelor's in past life regression therapy.
Right.
I would not be surprised if he did have that. Does Oxford offer that, or
Probably.
yeah?
But I got to say, and the whole thing about predicting the end of the virus, I mean, I don't have a lot of psychic skills myself, but if you throw $700 billion at a virus, you probably say give it about a year, and they probably have a cure for that. Like, I don't know that that's
so you
psychic work.
You throw 700 billion of that, 699 billion of that goes to politicians who are siphoning it off, and then the other billion is left. So I don't know, maybe.
I meant private money, not government money.
Oh,
Money from
okay.
biopharma companies that are going to make way more on the return. But I'm just saying, give somebody an opportunity to make money finding a cure. By God, they're going to find a cure. And I don't know if that's psychic worthy, but I do think it's cool that he was a queen. That's awesome.
Well, and he lives in the UK, which is where Queen came from.
Right.
He's a killer queen. Gun by Dignity, dynamite with a laser beam, I bet.
Probably. Guaranteed to blow your mind.
Yeah, anytime. So anyway, he says back in 2018, the word influenza kept coming to me. It stuck in my mind, and it's not a word I'd use. If I was talking in everyday life, I would just say flu. I saw it as a global disaster linked to meat or livestock. And then he goes on to say, some people think it originated in the wildlife market in Wuhan, so whatever. He
wildlife park, like a germ warfare wildlife park.
yeah, won't go there. Obviously, I don't believe that it originated there either. But hey, we're talking about a prediction here, so let's give the guy his due. He envisioned the defeat of Donald Trump. So let's see. He also had a vision in 2019 of global protests that are partially linked to BLM, which obviously was a big deal here, the Black Lives Matter movement.
I thought you were talking about the Bureau of Land Management. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That is a big deal here, isn't it? The Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah, that's a big deal too.
I honestly thought that.
They're marching on a forest over here this weekend, from what I hear.
Kept wondering why the people were defacing statues with the Bureau of Land Management. I was like, I don't understand.
Right. I had no idea.
What has that got to do with the statues? So he said that he saw the protests, become a big movement in France and Nigeria too. The other thing he saw before 2020 was a hospital in flames. At that time, I thought it meant a literal fire, but now it might have been symbolic of the way the national health system and health services around the world were pushed to the edge by the virus. Similarly, I had a vision of World War III, but perhaps it wasn't a war between countries, but instead a war against COVID-19. So you can see that some of these things might be a stretch. He's got a World War III, or he may be just early.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's in the cards for 2021. I don't know. You got to laugh about it. It's sick. So he explained, though this is kind of another one for 2021. He claims protests around the world will continue for the next 2 to 3 years. After he says he had visions of civil unrest, he predicts a mass movement of people with thousands moving countries in one go. I'm seeing people moving somewhere for a better life, almost like a mass exodus. I'm not talking a few hundred, I mean thousands. So that might be interesting. And he said something about Tom Cruise. Let's see. Tom Cruise and heart. The words Tom Cruise and heart kept coming to me. Maybe that's literal and he'll do poorly with a health problem, a heart problem, or maybe metaphorical and he'll go through a breakup or something. And he also thinks Natalie Portman and Kim Kardashian will split.
What, they're a couple?
No. Natalie.
That's awesome.
Like
they're together.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and that Natalie Portman will have a romantic heartache. So yeah, no, they're not together.
But okay.
He's saying them about both of them.
Okay. I was like, I didn't even know they were a couple.
Yeah.
I was like, is this new?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to have problems according to him in 2021, and let's see, he believes that a new Harry Potter book is coming.
I think that's true.
And a digestive biscuit is going to go viral for reasons that are as of yet unclear to him. So biscuit, I think, is a cookie in the UK.
Digestive biscuit?
Yeah, so like a digestive cookie is going to go viral.
What does that even mean?
Peter Andre is going to relaunch his music. Who's that?
Maybe it's the name of a band.
Yeah, I don't know Peter Andre
Digestive
either.
Biscuit is the name of a band?
don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
That could be.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Digestive Biscuit.
That does sound like a punk band in the UK, doesn't it?
Going viral. I mean, how else would a digestive biscuit go viral?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
That's where you make a prediction that's just so off the wall that no one will even know.
It's got to be a band.
Let's see. Now he says some of his psychic predictions are dark. Let's see. I see a couple of quite horrid visions. One of a male world leader being assassinated. I couldn't see who it was, but sensed it sent shockwaves through the world. Obviously, I hope that one doesn't come to fruition, he says. I've also had a vision of a world summit being plagued by a sex scandal, which, that's not even doesn't even sound like a prediction to me. That's just something that's going to happen.
Right.
And a rise in far right politics, particularly in Southern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And a volcanic eruption leading to major weather changes. So a couple of these things seem kind of close to what that other lady, the asparagus lady, was saying. And if the asparagus lady is correct, then the major weather changes. These guys both agree on that, and so
It sounds pretty awful all the way around. Like everything everybody's predicting is pretty bad.
Well, on a good note, digestive biscuits have been around since 1839. They were developed in Scotland to aid digestion.
really,
Mm-hmm.
Where they got a bunch of rocks in them and stuff.
Now they have actually
coffee.
It's antacid properties. They use sodium bicarbonate in them.
Sodium baking soda. They just put baking soda in a cookie.
Yeah, it looks like it has sugar, vegetable oil, tartaric acid, malic acid, salt. It's just like a normal cookie that they dip in their tea in England.
They dip in their tea.
Huh.
They dip in the tea.
Huh. Okay.
Wow, that was amazing. For a minute there, I thought you channeled some English person. Brian.
I did. I felt the
really
Queen
good.
of England coming through me for a second there.
That was awesome.
Yeah. You felt the Queen of England coming in you?
Through.
Psychic.
Oh,
down, Scott. Steady boy.
Pervert.
I know how much you like the Queen. Chill out, man.
Yeah. She's a killer queen, right?
Geriatric fetish.
Oh man.
She's gone by divinity. She's dynamite with a laser beam.
How many listeners do we have?
None anymore after this one.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah.
They'll hate us.
They'll all be like,
well, we're working on it.
Make them a damn colony again.
Did some heavy editing for this podcast. I'll tell you that.
Up the rebels.
Okay, well, so yeah, that's pretty much it with this guy. You go on to the next dude.
Next.
All right then. Speaking of psychics, and thanks to Scott for this article. Nostradamus, terrifying predictions for 2021. It doesn't get any better, guys. So there's the top 10 Nostradamus predictions for 2021. I don't know how far out did this guy go. He went pretty far. He predicted Hitler, although he called him Hister. He predicted JFK
in 2021.
No, back in the day, he accurately predicted the rise of Hitler. He accurately predicted the atomic bomb. He had a lot of eerily correct predictions, and the way he writes is really creepy. I'll give you an example. He does predict in 2021 a zombie apocalypse. Bless his heart. Apparently, he says that there's a weapon made by a Russian that turns young people into zombies. The weapon will create a virus that will turn people into zombies and eventually leave us extinct. In his words, few young people half dead to give a start. Dead through spite, he will cause the others to shine, and in an exalted place some great evils to occur. sad concepts will come to harm each one. Temporal, dignified, the mass to succeed, fathers and mothers, dead of infinite sorrows, women in mourning, the pestilent she monster, the great one to be no more, all the world to end.
Damn.
Yeah, right? Like, that's about as dark as it gets right there. So that's a happy thought to focus on.
Okay,
Number
so
two,
so wait a minute. I think I've already seen the weapon that's created that will cause people to turn into zombies. My
What's that?
my kids have it. It's called a cell phone.
Yeah,
iPad.
right. That's spot on right there.
So maybe he does have it right on.
It's all,
Yeah,
it's already amongst us.
it's true.
Well, you heard about the zombie mink farms where they had to kill, what is it, several million mink because the virus, the COVID-19, mutated and transmitted to the mink, and the mink had to be put down, and then a great number of them actually um, dug out of the holes they were put in after they were killed, and were in a zombified state, and they had to be re-killed. Did you guys hear about this?
No, that's super
Oh,
creepy.
We talked about this. I think I brought it up at one point, but we just barely touched on it. But initially there was a lot of news reporting on it, and then nothing. It just went dead silent. So it was really interesting to me, and I kind of filed that away in the back of my mind. But it did. The COVID-19 did mutate, and that strain was transmissible to animals, and it went into the mink. The mink were euthanized, and then like days and days later, maybe even weeks later, started digging out of the big trenches they had put them in 6 feet under, right? Only they weren't normal anymore. They were wigged out like aggressive zombie mink or whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, just file that away in your brains, folks. More to come on that later, I'm
Wow,
sure.
that's weird.
Yeah. Number two, biblical famine. You know, uh, let's see. According to Nostrum, a massive famine, the size of which the world's never seen before. After great trouble for humanity, a greater one is prepared. The great mover renews the ages. Rain, blood, milk, famine, steel, and plague. Is the heavens fire seen, a long spark running? Interesting. So he thinks there's going to be great famines, and there probably will be. I mean, there's always a famine somewhere. I think statistically, like 19,000 children starve to death every day. So there's always famine somewhere on the planet, but he says there's going to be a big one.
You know, if these
He does say, what's
I
that?
was just gonna say if these weather predictions are accurate and the weather keeps on doing what it's been doing, I can see where that famine would be widespread because it's not raining anymore; it's flooding. Or
Mm,
if it doesn't rain, it just flat out doesn't rain. Like you got people like in California, what 7 years in a drought, something like that, and then
yeah.
you got the farmers out in the Midwest, their crops are just flooding. So, you got one or the other, and neither one is conducive to a good growing environment. So,
Well, and the Chinese, have been cloud seeding for years
uh-huh.
now, where they fly through and cause the rain to fall out faster than it normally would to rain on different areas of the country. The Three Gorges Dam has kind of messed up a lot of that, although they have a ton of flooding over there right now. And I think the dam, actually, I read the other day, that Three Gorges Dam has actually moved position. So
Hmm.
uh, they said that it's over max capacity right now. All the floodgates are open, but they do say there has been some movement in the dam, and it's causing a lot of concern. Number four, the Earth will be hit by an asteroid. Now, this isn't a new one. Not only are we going to have zombies, pestilence, and famine, uh, there's a apparently fire and a long trail of sparks in the sky, which sounds a lot like an asteroid hitting the Earth. Now, how big it is, it doesn't say, but in the article they said NASA's even monitoring several different pieces of material flying through the sky that might come close. around May 6th of next year. Of this year, I'm sorry. It gets better. A devastating earthquake. His passage reads, "The sloping park, great calamity through the lands of the West, and Lombardy, the fire in the ship, plague and captivity, Mercury in Sagittarius, Saturn fading." I have no idea what that means, but apparently, according to these people, it means devastating earthquake. Number 6, soldiers will have chips implanted into their brains. If this hasn't already happened, I would be shocked. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you listen to Elon Musk, and it's like here.
Yeah.
right, I don't think it'll be long if it hasn't already happened. I do like the idea of quadriplegics being able to walk, and I love the idea of that kind of stuff. But every technology, yes, you can always use it for different things.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. He wrote, "The newly made one will lead the army, almost cut off up to near the bank. Help from the Milanese elite straining. The Duke deprived of his eyes in Milan in an iron cage. These new super soldiers will apparently be needed to save the human race and will lead the armed forces." I have no idea where they get that from, that quote.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds like a
I,
stretch,
I think they're full of shit. Uh,
but they're probably
and
accurate. I just don't think Nostradamus said it.
yeah, well, I do think that's might be the most accurate thing. Although the zombie thing, man, I'm telling you guys, this is something sometimes when I'm just, you let your mind wander, and I've thought about this before, about the multiverse, and I have heard, and I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but dealing with a multiverse, a potential unlimited number of universes, right? And if you look at it like pages out of a book, the further you go from where we are, the more things change, right?
Okay.
And in those other realities, uh, other things become possible because the rules aren't always the same, and other things can happen. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maybe even the rules of science are a little different, or whatever. But somewhere in a reality, probably not too far removed from our own, is a world with a zombie plague going on, and all the catastrophes that we can imagine, anything that we can think up or imagine, can happen in the multiverse. So every amazing fantasy that you've ever had as a kid of being able to fly, or different things like that, and every nightmare that you've ever had, no matter how bizarre or strange, uh, somewhere in the multiverse, it may be playing out right now.
Mm-hmm. Could be,
How terrifying is
right? At least we're not in that universe.
that? Right? Maybe worlds will collide. You never know.
Yeah, that was a great song. Remember that one? This is
Yeah,
what this is what it feels like when worlds collide.
Who sings that?
Man, now I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
that was power.
Power Man 5000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like their only good song, but yeah, good one.
Mm-hmm.
Was Rob Zombie part of that group at any point in time?
It sounds like a group that Rob Zombie would be part of, but I don't know. I have to Google that or something, huh?
I'll find out.
You're gonna Google it, and next
Anyway.
thing you know, you're reading stories about some Norwegian penis man.
Yeah, that is Brian. I don't know where you get that stuff.
I don't know, but I'm not Googling anything else tonight.
Yeah, you should probably lay off.
I'm done.
Wow. You've hit your stride there. That's awesome. Anyway, that's all the news from Nostradamus, and hopefully none of it's correct.
Why don't they ever have like, hey, I predict that something positive.
How
But
about
anyway,
that?
yeah, it seems like everything's always negative all the time, just like the news. Every prediction is, dire and death and stuff like that.
Well, if you want
Right.
the other kind, then you need to just go to like Yahoo's astrology page, and it'll tell you about like you're gonna, meet some great love in the bathroom or something.
Wow.
Is that what that is? All right. Coming a new segment next podcast.
Love in the bathroom.
All right. Anyway, well, I guess that's it then, right?
I think we're done.
That's
I
it
think-
for our.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Be careful out there, folks. It's a crazy world.
Yeah, welcome to 2021, everyone.
Thanks for listening this week. We're now heard in over 28 countries. We can't say how thankful we are, and we love all our listeners. Please call our voicemail line at 970-343-4594 to submit questions or comments, and you might just hear your voice on the air. Go to ourdifferenttake.com and our Facebook page called ODT Nation. Please send us your comments, suggestions, complaints, or questions to show@ourdifferenttake.com. We're going to use some of this time to thank new members of our Facebook group, ODT Nation, for joining. We are over 200 strong, and our goal is to get to 400 by March. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and look for us wherever you get your podcasts from. We also have a YouTube channel called Our Different Take. Please subscribe and click on the bell so you'll know and be alerted when a new podcast is released. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Have a great one.
Oh, mine's kind of lame.
That's kind of lame too.
We're used to it. It's okay, Brian. Brian. Hello, Brian. Can you hear me?
How do you cook your asparagus?
I mean, oh no, we ate it last night. Damn it!
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
looking up the.
I just glanced
Yeah.
at my phone, Brian. I'm so sorry. I just
Oh, sorry. I just
You
had
should
to
leave
share
it
that
in there.
with you.
Can you read the headline for us, Brian?
Denmark launches children's TV show about a man with a giant penis.
This just in, folks.
In fact,
Oh, great.
his penis can perform rescue operations, etch murals, hoist a flag, and even steal ice cream from children.
You should definitely not edit this out.
Oh. Holy crap. Seriously. No, I was looking up the minks rising from the dead, which happened in Denmark, and then I saw this this thing here too, and I was like, I gotta click on that.
Crazy.
Anyway,
It's like
sorry.
Stretch Armstrong.
It is. His name is Dillermand, which is slang for penis man in Danish.
Alrighty then.
A kids program. Well, that's nice.
What is he grilling? What's that picture? Is he grilling?
Flipping some burgers.
What's he doing? Holy crap! Sorry, I threw that way off, but I had to share that. Sorry.
I mean, it looks like
Thanks, man.
a wiener roast.
I guess
He does.
he's actually flipping burgers with a spatula using his penis. That's awesome.
Wow.
Okay, so